Now, this is a prime example right here of how the average American's mind is being conditioned to hate. Yet it's easy to point fingers at President Trump and say that he's dividing the nation. It's easy to say that President Trump is a white supremacist and that he's a racist. But when you look at the facts that's right before your eyes, the facts that's being manipulated to cause you to act out emotionally against falsehood. Now, I saw the original New York Times that talked about how Trump urges unity, and they were basing that upon his speech. This is why we have so much fake news media, because of capitalism, because of money. Hate sells. Unfortunately, hate sells. Division sells. Racism sells. White supremacy sells. That's why we hear so much of racist hate, white supremacy, and all of this negative propaganda, because it sells. It makes money. People breed and feed upon hate and racism and anger. People want to be angry. It's sad, but it's true. It's tight, but it's right. People want to be angry. It's like you going to the movie theater to watch a horror movie to be scared. There's a desire within the human being to want to be frightened, to be scared, to be angry. So we have here New York Times printed an article that says Trump urges unity. But then, because of the fact that many of the subscribers to New York Times, the left, people of the blue states, complained, and there was a Twitter backlash, and liberals announced they're canceling subscription, New York Times backtracks and puts out another paper that says assailing hate. So they had to make Trump a racist. They had to make Trump dividing this country. They had to make Trump a person that's spreading hate when they know the truth. They know that Trump spoke unity, but because of the backlash, with the liberals and those that subscribing to New York Times, they had to change the paper and give you fake news media. So now you're going to have people that's going to believe the fake news media more than they believe the truth. And they will go back and they will pull these articles and say, see, it's true because the New York Times says so. So this is a great example of how your mind and your emotions are being manipulated. It goes to show that Trump is not a racist. But this negative propaganda is making him to be a racist, because that's now what the popular believes. That's what the fake news media believes or put out. Or that's what the so-called liberals or the left or the Democrats that's spewing all of this anger, all this hatred, all of this white supremacy. And keep in mind, like I mentioned in that last video, when they talk of white supremacy, they're not talking about the history of black people in slavery. They're not talking about unarmed blacks being gunned down by police. They're talking about a political agenda. So now, even when it comes to racism and white supremacy, it now has a new face. And that face is President Trump. For political reason, political manipulation to get black people to vote. It's like Joe Biden coming out and said that they're going to send y'all back in chain, or they're going to bring back Jim Crow. And then you had this black politician stand up and want to try to give clarity to what he meant. Joe Biden says it, and then a black politician is going to come and interpret it. Joe Biden didn't have to say anything, because you had this black, and I hate using the term coon, but you had this black politician now coming saying he didn't mean it that way. So right here is a clear example. I don't know how much clearer you can get. You see the first ad they put out the truth. Trump urges unity. That was the gist of his speech. I saw the speech. And then because of the backlash, because of the crowd, what's the term? They were attacked. They changed their paper to he's assailing hate. So feedback, tell me what you think. People wake up, and I'll be doing a video on MK Ultra, mind control, because that's the only thing that we see now that's happening now. People's minds are being controlled and manipulated. And it's sad because they can't see the truth. I've had people that call themselves friends to me, have high respects for me, turn their backs on me and want to attack me verbally because I support Trump. I'm not allowed to have my own opinion. I'm not allowed to have my own mind. I'm not allowed to think freely for myself. I can't be a free thinker just because of the melanin in my skin. I cannot be an individual. I have to be held captive to the demon crap propaganda. So if this does not wake you up, I really don't know what to say for you. But this right here is a clear example of how you're being manipulated, how you're being brainwashed, and how your emotions are being controlled, because they took the pressure off of themselves. They took the attention off of themselves and they put it all on Trump. See, this is why we don't hear them talking about Baltimore anymore. That's why we don't hear them talking about the poison water problem that's in Michigan. See, they go with what's popular. They go with the trending topic. So people were going down to Baltimore to check upon it, and people really thought they were going to get some help. And then the minute these shootings took place, they dropped Baltimore. Baltimore is not important anymore. Black people are not important anymore. So now everybody's talking about not even the mass shootings. They're talking about Trump being a racist. So your minds were directed from helping Baltimore to Trump being a racist. You're right where the demon craps want you to be. Don't stop talking about Baltimore. They need help. So now the demon craps that's supposed to be helping the people in their district, Elijah Cummings, now feels relieved because all the attention is now off of them, and they're not giving an account of all that money that came up missing in Baltimore, in Elijah Cummings' district. So don't stop talking about Baltimore. That's what they want you to do. Your mind is being conditioned. Your mind is being steered in the direction they want you to go. You're thinking the way they want you to think. And you're still on the bottom. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe. Until next time, I'm fearless.